Hello everyone, this is Daniel Patrick from Sebula Tech and OldRC.com, and today's a kind of a fun video. And let me start by saying one of the most common questions I get on YouTube, email, or phone calls is, will you make this particular body for me for my RC car that I want? And I usually say, sure, I have no problem doing that for you as long as you send me the tooling. And that's what I have today. Someone sent me the tooling for the first time in a long time. It's probably been at least a year since someone sent me anything. I've run lots of different things for people, but this is the first one in a while. This one is actually going to be made out of wood, from what I think I was told. It's been a while since I talked to this individual, a guy named Mike in Indiana. The previous ones we've done a lot of 3D printed ones, and those don't last very long at all. They melt and get soft, and you can get a few things out of it, and then that's it. We've done CNC aluminum, and we've done some cast stuff. And on most of those, no one wants me to share a video of what happened with them at all. And one, I was definitely under a request, do not share what we're doing and what the results were and everything. So this has hopefully, I haven't actually got the permission yet when I'm shooting this, going to be one where I can share the video with everybody. So we're going to unbox this now. I have not opened this. It's sealed. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into this one. What we've got to do is take it out, and then I've got to come up with a board to mount it to so we can get it on the machine over in the production shop and see what happens with it. So here we go. We're going to open it now. Oh, and I should mention too, this box is, if you notice on it, this is one of our boxes actually. He must have ordered something from us at some point and used it to send the buck to us in the box that we'd sent him originally. So let's see what we got here. Got some paper, bubble wrap, and all right, let's see. I'll do some bubble wrap. Wait, this is small. There it is. I don't know what is this. I'll just right on the bubble wrap. Let's see. Does a really good job. Wrap it all up. And I will say, if this is truly made out of wood, that's not a bad idea. Many people have heard me talk about it before. Doms, who used to make a lot of RC car bodies, from what I heard talking with them many years ago, I think it was a daughter of the original owner, before they sold it off, she had warned me that they were going to run a body for me, and it was going to have a little bit of lines in it because the wood had shrunk and cracked, and then they would put filler in to fill in the wood. So wood is okay for bucks, but it's not a good long-term solution. Okay, here we go. What the heck is this? Okay. Well, that's interesting. I think this will kind of work. It's going to be a little rough. We'll drill some holes in the bottom of it. Maybe we might be able to get away with some T-nuts in it. Probably not, though, because unless we get some nuts in it that we can screw in and then bolt into. But I suppose we could just do some wood screws actually into the bottom of this. So my first thing I see here on this is that it has a good draft angles in the front and the back, but the side is a little lacking in a draft angle, so it may prove to be a little tough to get off. We shall see. Then on this little piece up here, I see there's kind of a spot underneath where plastic might get pulled in down around there. And then it's got all these sides in it, but there's no holes in it for the air to escape out of. So, and through the bottom. They put a little recess in the bottom here, but I don't know if that'll be enough. Depending on how this was put together, the air may leak through the wood, so it may not be that big of a deal. This will be interesting. This will be definitely an interesting one. We'll see how it goes. That's definitely a very blocky design. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I have a feeling, here's the back side of it. I have a feeling there's going to be some spots that it gets a little tough to get off. These screw holes in the back, I may need to prep this up with some filler first to get those a little bit filled so the plastic doesn't hang up in there and it's easier to pop off. On the side here as well, that's probably going to be a good thing to do, is put some filler in there and try and close off that so it's better. This probably, like I said, would have been a little bit better to try and get this little gap in here filled in a little bit more. But there's a good chance, dealing with the thickness of the plastic we are, that it won't tuck in completely underneath there. So it may not be too bad. But once again, this part doesn't have much of a draft angle in it. And so that may mean that it's going to be a little tough to pop off right here. It's going to hang up on here. So I'm not sure. Yeah, that looks pretty vertical there to me. Not much of an angle on it. I might have to give Mike a little call and say, hey, can we maybe work on this, sanding this down a little bit? But we'll give it a go. I'm game. We'll give it a try and see what happens. All right. On to the next step then. We are ready to make, we're ready to make an RC car body out of a block of wood, or using a block of wood as the form. I don't know how this is going to go. I've already noticed from the heat exposure back here, the wood is cracked here, and then there was another spot somewhere where it's starting to split, I think over on this one, from the proximity to the heat here. So we got to watch out for that. I did a little bit of filler in places, the screw holes for this back part, to help make sure the body comes off as easy as possible. This is still pretty vertical, and in fact, looking at a profile earlier, I noticed it actually seems to be a little bit of an undercut. I've talked to Mike about this part. If we need to, we can pop this off and just form it without it. We'll see what happens. So let's get going. Let's run the first one and see what happens. I've already got this machine kind of figured out with previous mold for timing and everything, so we'll just see. Shouldn't have to do a whole lot of changes on here. I'm not sure. There's not much air evacuation holes on this, but there is splits in the wood, so hopefully that'll allow air to evacuate. We're not going to be doing the usual heating up the box, especially since it's already split. That's what happens when you use kind of fresh green wood in a lot of cases. That's kind of what this is. It looks like just basic pine. Intuition has me trying to grab a thing to heat this thing up, but I gotta stay back. Let's see what's our air thing set to. We're about 10 to 15 PSI for a blow off on it. We better put some web catchers in this corner here. Hey, that actually came off really easy. Sweet. That was not what I expected at all. Yeah, you can see the wood grain in it quite a bit. I think we need to get it a little hotter if we want it to form in here. It didn't form down in here very well because there's no air being evacuated in this canopy area. But overall, that's pretty good. Let's just put some, I figured this was going to happen, that we're going to need some web catchers in the corner, but I thought I'd see what happened first. But yeah, that formed pretty good. May even have been a little too hot on the plastic. Let's back it off with just a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's just put in the web catchers because we're doing a limited run of these, and let's just make them as good as we can right off the bat. It probably needs a web catcher. Hopefully this isn't too close and makes it worse. It actually might be a little too close. Now that I'm looking at it. I'll back this one off just a little bit further. And I might need some on the side. It did form on the sides and everything really well, just not in the middle because there's no air evacuation. So I'm kind of tempted to turn down the amount of time it sits in the back to heat up. We are going to do that. Let's also change the vacuum delay to 1 second. Length of travel to 1.1. Length of travel means how far it goes down after it's formed. We'll set it to that, see what happens. Oh wait, timing too. Let's go to 18. There we go. All right, see what happens. Oh yeah, we got rid of the webbing in the corner. Got rid of even the webbing in the back. Came off really easy. If I can get it on camera. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's definitely wood grain showing through on this. Quite obvious. Oh, we're starting to get warmer in the room where the sheet of plastic in the oven's warmer. We're getting some webbing back here as returned. Want to make more, and we'll make more. So if you're looking to do these, you know, maybe some sand sealer may not hurt to help eliminate some of the wood grain. But overall, that's pretty good. I talked to Mike, and of course he'll be trimming this back corner off of here, so that's not a big deal. Oh, that is still too high here. It bulged up there, so actually they all kind of bulged up right there. So we're going to turn down the air. And we'll turn down the air pressure, and we'll increase the amount of time that it sits on there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. One thing I should mention too is I did sand down the sides of here to make it release as easy as possible with about 400 grit sandpaper, and on the insides of the buck as well, just to make it hopefully as secure as possible, or as easy to remove as possible. Oh my gosh, my microphone cord. So you're looking at the world debut of this 12th scale mold, never ever before seen to the public. If you like it, I don't know what it's for, but if you like it, let me know, and maybe Mike will want to make more, and we'll make more. If you like wood grain in your RC car bodies, this mold's for you. And what I did use for the filler in spots that I did do, I tried and filled in a few spots on here that I thought were potentially going to be problems, and I used the high temp JB weld. I'm gonna turn down the warm-up time again on here. 18 seconds. I know I said 18 before, but it was actually 18.5 is what I had it at. Okay, now, if you look closely, you may be able to already see, but we turned down, or lowered the amount of time it sat in the back to heat up. What that did is that made the plastic less stretched out, less stretchy, and we got rid of the webbing in the back that had been there, which didn't really matter for this because it's going to be an area that's trimmed off anyway, but it got rid of that by lowering the temperature. So I always tell people when they ask me all the time how to get rid of webbing, and I say the easiest method is to lower the temperature to get it not so much plastic stretched out on it before you form. The other way is then the blocks in the front. If you're not certain lowering the temperature time or the heat up time in the back will not adversely affect other parts of it, like might make other parts not form as well, then go to blocks. But first you should always try lowering the amount of time the plastic heats up. I really sincerely did not think it was going to form this easy and come off this easy. So kudos to Mike and his design. That worked really, really well. I am shocked. The only thing it needed was some air evacuation here in the middle. So it's going to be kind of what it is for that part. It isn't forming real well down on the inside there. Because there's nowhere for the air to go in there, it's trapped in there. But other than that, it formed really well. And then, like I said, the only other issue with it is the cracking of the wood. Otherwise, yeah, very well done for draft, apparently. I knew front and the back that would make it easier to pop off, but I really had my reservations on the sides. All right, so I don't know if we can see it very well here or not, but that's a good one there. Really nice, formed really well. This is one of the first ones I did. You can kind of see it in here. It bulges up, and that was because I didn't let that cool enough, and the air was blow-off feature was a little too high powerful, so it stretched out the plastic there. So that was one of the first few. Actually blew out the side a little bit there too. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that at all, but yeah, over here, but it stretched out the side here too. So I needed to let that sit on there a little bit longer and not have the air pressure up so high before popping it off. But that's okay. He wanted 5 of these, really, is all he wanted, and we got, I think, 6 here, good ones, plus the blemish ones, about 3 or 4 blemish ones. So we'll throw those in a box and get it out to him after we receive payment. So what have we learned today? We have learned that a block of wood does make a good buck or mold for vacuum forming, which, I mean, we knew that was a potential possibility. But I actually have firsthand experience running one. I've never run one myself made out of wood. Let me see if I can zoom in on this with my other camera here and show you the splits that have really taken place in the wood. I believe, yeah, there's one back in here on it. There's one right here, and then there's one on the side over here. They did not appreciate the heat. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You can see that one really well. Then you can see that one really well as well. And you probably won't be able to see the one back there quite as well. Yeah, I don't think you can see that one very well at all. Focus. Yeah, that one's tough to see. It's not as bad as the other ones. That's the difference. It's just not, which is good, but yeah, that is not as bad as the other ones. So yeah, that did really well. I don't know, I should check. We'll check the other sides here and see if any more have formed on the other side. And you never know what happened there. And you can't see it. So let's take a look. Yeah, that looked okay. You can see we did some more fill here, which we should have done more, come in and done another another coating of it to cover that up just a little bit more, but I didn't. Since this is just a kind of a lower effort thing we're doing here, and I wasn't really technically getting paid to do a little, filler work on there. Once again, have we learned anything? I'm not certain if we learned anything other than it's feasible. It doesn't give you the best looking stuff as far as you see the wood grain in there, but it's totally usable, especially for prototyping, I would say. All right, well, that's it for today at Sabula Tech. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned a little bit something. If you didn't, that's okay. Come back and watch another one. Maybe you'll learn something at another time. But this was a good experience for me. I enjoyed it. As I mentioned earlier, if you've got anything you want to have formed, you have an idea for something, I am more than willing to run it, with a small fee, and see what happens with it. You just have to provide the buck or mold to me. I will not make it generally unless I'm getting well reimbursed for it, because it takes a lot of time to make a good piece of tooling on it, and most people do not want to fork over that kind of money. And that should take care of it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to lick the subscribe button. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, we're getting ready. Because here we come. We're gonna make a body out of a block of wood. Who needs an RC body made out of a block of wood? I guess made using a block of wood.